Okay, we're bringing the cringe today, guys. In fact, we're going to the level above cringe. Where cringe meter is going to the AF level. Okay, dude. What? So, my name's Richard Brown. I have a PhD in philosophy with an emphasis in cognitive science, and I'm interested in the mind, the brain, and how they interact. I used to have a lot of memorabilia from my past, but in 1997, I lost all that stuff. I moved and I put everything into a storage space, and long story short, everything in that storage space disappeared. And that included everything that I owned, excepting what I had in a backpack, which was just some clothes, like literally two pairs of shorts and maybe three or four shirts and books. So that was a big blow. I had lots of stuff, all of my pictures, all of my recordings from bands, letters that I wrote people. Yes, handwritten fucking letters, dude. All of that stuff. I had a snowboard, a drum set, all kinds of stuff. Just evaporated. It just disappeared. And at the time I was like, okay, I'm reinventing myself, and I just kind of tried to move on. But that was very very difficult. So I don't have a lot of um, memorabilia. I don't have a lot of stuff from my past. In fact, the period of time from when I was like, you know, maybe my teenage when I from 13 until like 18, that 5 year period of time right there, as far as I know, I just don't have any photographic images of anything during that time. In fact, the last picture um, that I have here, that's my sister over there. We don't need to worry about her for the current moment. So that's me right there. I don't know what the fuck am I wearing. That yellow button-up shirt. I think I have jeans are tucked in. I have a belt on. These are Wrangler jeans. So this picture right here, I must have been, I don't know, 11 years old. Um, so this is probably 1983. This is probably 1983. So that's the latest picture I have of myself before I ended up running away from home. So in 1983, and then about maybe 3 or 4 years later, I don't know exactly, I'm fuzzy on the details, but about 3 or 4 years later, I ran away from home. I ended up stealing a motorcycle. I got arrested. I went to juvenile hall. And from there, I went to group homes, and I was in a few different group homes. And it's a long story, and we don't need to revisit all of that stuff. But that's actually where I got interested in skateboarding. And I don't know exactly when in that period of time I got my first skateboard or anything like that. I don't really know. I've thought about it. I tried to remember. I just can't. But by the time I got out of the group home, your homie was looking like this. Oh God, I told you the cringe factor was high. So that's this picture was like less than 10 years later. So if the other one was 1983, this picture must have been 1991, 1990, maybe 1989, somewhere in that 89 to 90 to 91 possibly. Period. I don't actually know. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But this picture is like classic. I remember when this was being taken. I used to hate to have my picture taken. I avoided it like the plague. And so I was in the process of grabbing my skateboard, and when someone's got a camera and they're on the hunt, doing some paparazzi shit. That was what's happening. I was trying to avoid having my picture taken this day. And one picture that I have from this day shows me with the skateboard. I can't find it though, otherwise I'd put it up because I want to see the skateboard, but I forget. But this one, they got me like full on, full frontal Richard Brown at 18. Maybe I'm 19. I'm in that range right there. So the first thing to notice is I like matching shit. I don't know. I wonder if this shirt's tucked in. I'm a fucking weirdo, dude. You see my Tony Hawk haircut, um, the Iron Maiden T-shirt. I hated Iron Maiden. I joked that I wore this T-shirt so I would know who to beat up. They would come up to me and say, "Yeah, cool Iron Maiden." I'd be like, "Fuck you, dude, Slayer." Actually, by this time I was kind of over Slayer. They put out South of Heaven, and I was like, um, not exactly loving. I didn't hate it. It kind of grows on you, but it certainly wasn't Rain and Blood. Anyway, okay, and I was getting into kind of harder stuff, and I was about this point I was in the punk and Slayer definitely, but I was about to find Cannibal Corpse and go full on DSI death metal crossover route. But at skating wise, I what I knew about skating was mostly from Thrasher magazines. Clearly got my Tony Hawk haircut here, like everyone else had. And I guess I had seen the Bones Brigade video, right? Lance Mountain doing bonelesses off of everything. uh, and at this by this point, I had heard that someone was like doing handrails, like the handrail stuff was starting to happen, 89, 90. I don't know. I all this stuff's on YouTube. It'd be fun to go back and watch it. But anyway, so this guy, I look back on this picture and it's like, well, my God, dude, this guy, dude. What you don't see here is like, for instance, I used to have this like jacket with a Corey O'Brien patch on the back, the patch that I made from a shirt that I just like sewed on or some shit. Um, yeah, some wild shit, wild shit. But I wasn't so while street skating was being invented at this time, and like I said, I'd heard about the handrail stuff, and I skated curbs and parking blocks and a couple ditches and stuff. But what I really want to do was skate pools and ramps, and vert ramps is scary. I have mini ramps. I'd like the Corey O'Brien part in Streets of Fire. That was the kind of stuff that I wanted to do, but there was nowhere to do it. And I always thought of myself as like, oh yeah, if I had the chance to like skate that stuff, I bet I could do it. And I was never a great skater, but I could do some stuff like, but I wasn't doing stuff like, what you saw real good skaters doing. But certainly I could do the stuff that I could do, but I probably had no style. I don't know. There's no pictures or photographic evidence or anything like that of me skating as far as I can tell. Probably for the best. Here's very shortly after I got out of the group home and moved to my back to my hometown for various reasons no one cares about. The other thing that I always thought that I could do for some reason was drum, and so I eventually got a drum set and met some people and started my first band actually. And so here you can see this is me. I have my suicidal hat on. I have my nose pierced. I remember piercing that when I was in the group home. That's a whole nother story. I did it myself with a safety pin. Let's not even worry about that. My homie did these tattoos. It's my suicidal tattoo. In fact, the guy who did that tattoo is this guy right here, whose face I'm covering. That's him. He did those tattoos, and you can see that I had the corrosion of conformity tattoo there, and this is my suicidal tendencies tattoo. The funny story about this, actually, this was a Dead Kennedys tattoo. The first tattoo I had was a Dead Kennedys tattoo. But we made the tattoo gun ourselves with a motor from a Walkman and a guitar string that was sharpened, uncoiled and sharpened. And he manufactured it, and he was trying to learn how to tattoo, so he would practice on himself and me. And the first tattoo I had right there was the Dead Kennedys one, and he didn't press hard enough, so it lasted for like a month or two and faded away. I actually thought that'd be a good business model, right? These temporary tattoos where you actually have to get the pain of the tattoo that only lasts for like 6 months or something. But anyway, so then I had this one done over it. This picture, which I just find absolutely hilarious, was for our first band photo. Our band was called Distraction. We recorded one little demo. I think we even rented a 4-track. My very first like I used to have a recording of this, but it's gone now, thankfully. But it was definitely more in the punk genre of shitty Dead Kennedys rip. He really liked the Exploited and Dead Kennedys and all that kind of stuff. So um, In fact, you can see he has a Black Flag tattoo. I like Black Flag, Minor Threat. I liked all that type of shit. But I was really getting more into the death metal scene at that point. But anyway, so it's hilarious here to see my old skateboard here. Um, you can kind of see it's look funny to look at my trucks. I don't even know what kind of wheels these are. I don't remember any of this shit. These stickers are like crazy. This is like a drum circuit sticker, a place where I got some drum equipment. This is like a local radio station. This is like a surf shop. I don't even know what board this would have been. Maybe this was. Um, I remember I had like a Jeff Phillips, maybe a Michael McGill. Man, I don't even remember. This board in the back broken. I definitely broke tons of boards like doing my 180 disasters on parking blocks. Oh my God! So this is just so corny to me. But this we were posing on purpose here. This was for our band, as I was just saying a second ago. And so, this is eventually the reason why I stopped skating. I was just hurting myself very often. Not the kind, I had no technique. I didn't think about foot placement or what I was doing. I just would ollie up to the curb and see what happened. And in a way, I always felt like a poser in that sense because I'd ollie up and be like, oh, Smith grind. But really, I didn't mean to do a Smith probably. I was trying to do a 50-50 or something like that. And I'd come off be like, oh yeah, Smith grind, like that's what I meant to do. So it's funny because I think that I was probably better at skating back then, but more of a poser because I was, well, you look at this like picture of me and it's clear I'm advertising like, hey, look, I'm a skater guy, and for the level of skating ability that I had, I probably shouldn't have had hair like that.